COVID has impacted the world on an incomprehensible scale. To get a better grasp on its impression, we decided to talk to local members of our community to see how COVID has affected their lives. We started by talking to Penn Trafford High School students to see how their generation has handled the pandemic.
I'm Sarah Winchell.
I'm Ada McDonough.
Christian Miller.
Austin Varner.
My name's Mia DeFazio and I'm a senior.
12th grade.
I'm a senior this year.
I'm in 12th grade.
For me personally, being online is not a good learning experience for me.
Whenever I was in school, I would always be like, oh, I'll just do that at home. But then whenever I was at home, I was like, oh, I'll just do that at school.
It's just like different and it doesn't really feel the same as last year.
I feel like I haven't learned nearly as much as I have in my other years of high school.
A few months back, me and my family had it, and it pulled me out of school for a week. I had to take a 2-week leave at work.
I had a family member who had it, so I had a quarantine in my house for 2 weeks. Like I was fully online for school for 2 weeks.
To keep busy at home, I was like trying to keep busy. Like I was like trying to learn new things. Like I have like a keyboard that I don't use, and I was like, let's try to play something.
We went camping a lot during the lockdown. My dad bought a camper this summer when all of this happened.
Luckily for me, I just bought a PS5 a few days before.
You get like 3 days in and you're just like, I have nothing else to do, but I can't leave.
I try to keep optimistic by thinking about the long run and keeping all of my friends and family safe. So I know I have to do some things in order to keep them safe.
Although the news keeps changing, and anytime we see some hope, it seems to dwindle back down with a new mutation or something, or new guidelines. I know eventually it'll all be over.
So I feel like if we kind of keep going on the same track we're on, then everything will be better in the next few months.
To keep optimistic, I try to listen to music or just if I'm getting stressed out, like to go to the side and maybe just like watch something or do something.
I stay optimistic by probably just talking to people and being with people. Like my friends, I try to talk to them a lot. And I try to have a little bit of hope that we can all get normal soon, and that this hopefully won't last forever, and we'll get back to life soon.
To get a better view on how COVID has affected our work industry, we visited a local community member to talk about how COVID has affected her job status.
My name is Tara Mooney, and I lost my job due to COVID.
So what did you think of COVID when it first started?
It was pretty scary, watching the news and seeing all the lockdowns in other countries. A lot of people that I knew were losing their jobs, so it was very scary.
And did you think you'd be able to find another job?
That was about 50-50. I tried really hard. I didn't know if I was going to find a job that was as good as my last job. I thought I was going to have to take a pay cut. The job that I'm currently working at is called Online Stores, LLC, and they do strictly online sales. It actually is a great company to work for right now because ever since COVID, even more people are purchasing things online. Their sales have increased over 15 million, their projected quote.
COVID-19 hasn't only impacted existing workers, however. It has also made the transition into the workforce more daunting than ever before.
My name is Delaney Swank. I'm 19 and I go to Seton Hill.
And what is your major at Seton Hill?
I am a BFA musical theater major.
How would you describe the transition from typical production to a production being done in a COVID world?
So much of theater has to do with human interaction and also physical touch. And so those are two of the big things that this pandemic took away from everyone in general. For acting and theater, it's so personal. And it's much harder to make a connection with a scene partner or a duet partner when you either have a mask on or it's over Zoom, or sometimes we have to record shows on our own separate from everyone else. So it's only us in the room at the time, and we have to just imagine that there are other people there with us. So that's been the hardest transition I've had to make as an actor and a performer.
Do you think it will be difficult to rebuild live theater in a post-COVID world?
Sadly, I think it will be a little bit of a difficult transition because during this pandemic, so many actors, performers, artists have completely lost their jobs. And it's very difficult to make any money as a performer or an artist right now. So a lot of these people are out of work and out of jobs. So many Broadway shows and Broadway theaters um, and venues have been completely shut down because during this period of time they have been making no money because it's impossible to hold any live performances or book any live performances. It's been really sad to see as a performer how many of these historic and iconic venues and shows that will never be able to return because of the financial hit that artists have taken during this pandemic.
How are you able to stay personally optimistic in a time where everybody's lives were changed?
Well, I stay optimistic because this is what I love to do. Even before the pandemic, I chose this career because I love to do it and it's what I'm passionate about. So that's what keeps me going is the passion that I have for theater. And no matter what circumstances I'm under, I'm grateful to be performing or singing or dancing or acting. I will pretty much do it whenever, wherever. So I will take any opportunity I can to continue to perform, whether that be virtually or in person. I would definitely say keep in touch with the things that you're passionate about, whether that be a sport, you can still work out, you can exercise, find something that you're passionate about, that you care about, an activity that you can do to kind of stay motivated. And don't let this bring you down because it will be over at some point. It will come to an end and we'll all be back to normal and it'll be amazing. So I would just say try to stay positive and keep in touch with the things that you're passionate about so that when this is all over, we can all just get right back at it.
This has been Declan Mooney and Joey Pacelli reporting for PTTV News.